News part two. I'm not saying that all people that watch the Super Bowl are faggots or that they're gay, but some of the people that do are. And I just wanted to make that clear. But I think there's more important things than watching a stupid game that we need to be more focused on as everybody. Because once we get America straight, then we can go watch all the games we want and go back to the way we used to be before everything got crazy. But we need to take care of business in the warehouse first, because the way the government's taking care of us is not the right way to go. And if you really look at it, it's not. We're a lot less freer today than we were 20 years ago. I remember people talking about in the 50s where they could carry a gun to school. Now you can't even carry a knife to school. You can't even wear a flag or wear a cross or wear a Bible on your shirt without getting suspended in a lot of areas now. So, that goes to show you that our freedom, just for something like that, is being taken away. Or, what type of bulbs you use in your home, you can get in trouble someplace in the United States for that too. And they're talking about making schools. They just had a vote on this last week, making schools be mandatory to where they'll have them all year round. They're starting to bring that all here more into Virginia, and they were voting on it just last night. So we'll just have to keep you up to date on that. But the thing is, I don't really like the fact that the TSA can, grope you or your children, or mine either for that matter, when I do have some one day. I think it's not the way our country should be going. I don't think there should be an organization such as the TSA or the NSA. I mean, not the NSA, but yeah, the NSA. We don't really need it. When you go through the airports, it's all theater, just like everywhere else where they're going to be. It's going to be all theater. And I want to tell you from the bottom of my heart, I don't think it's necessary, because if you ask them, or there's no articles on the government sites or anything that says where all these programs that they put in place since 9/11, have they really helped towards terrorism? Absolutely not. Most areas they have not helped one bit, and not changed anything for the better. A lot of cases it's made things for the worse, because when you put back doors and everything, software-wise, hardware-wise, it also opens the back doors to bad people too, and also to corrupt people in the government could do bad things as well to people's machines because of these back doors or chips that have been added on before you buy them at the store. So don't think, well, before you get the item, they haven't already thought about putting it on. Putting extra radio chips that phone home to the NSA and other agencies, just on the computer shoot order. But they're doing this pre-standard right at the factory. So this has been going on for the last decade or so. So that's no new news right there. But also, what really does scare me the most is that Google now has a hack in its software, on its YouTube software or on your phone, where they can actually transmit your videos that you're doing right to the police department without your knowledge. And if that's true, this feature that Google has done that's transmitted to local law enforcement should be disabled. Now, I understand if it was something questionable or something to deal with child porn or having to deal with drugs or anything like that, where it's being shown where people are actually using drugs, that could be understandable. But if it's just somebody saying stuff because they're trying to stand up for freedom and all, that's not understandable. Because that's not breaking the law. It's called freedom of speech. Say it with me, freedom of speech, because that's what it is. So, but I may not like Obama. So some people might love Obama. But that's what I feel. That's how I feel, and just like how other people feel. They like Obama. But there's no reason to arrest those people who don't like Obama. Or there's no reason to arrest people because they may not like certain people in the Congress or Senate or House either. They might say they're fat or they're ugly or they're Muslim or whatever. And that may be true and it may not be, but still, that's America. That's called freedom of speech, and every time they grope your child or grope you and touch your junk, they say, oh, well, that's law. We're allowed to do that. But actually, you show them the Constitution, show them the amendments where it says that there should not be any unreasonable force or unlawful seizure. So every time they're touching you, they're actually breaking that law. There was an amendment that said no unreasonable or forced seizures on its citizens. Then what does it mean? It does not give the TSA an exception. No, it does not give anybody the exception unless it is because they broke the law, not just because they want to do it. Because we really are the guinea pigs for terrorism, folks. We are those guinea pigs. They're not going after no foreign threats. They're going after domestic, meaning locally here at home threats. And every one of us here in the grid, as they call it, with these spy phones, smartphones is what I call them, spy phones. You can use that as a perfect device to know where you are, to hear what you're doing all hours of the day and or night, if they choose to. And, that's what they do. To take and look at the data that's on your phones, change or alter data if they wanted to. And to see, that's all against the law. That's all warrants. That's all, it's breaking the law. Because you have to have at least a warrant or a subpoena. And they're doing this warrantless. They're just going ahead and doing it. That's against the law. That should outrage everybody in this nation, what they're doing. So, this is just some things to think about. Do you want your country to lose its freedom and just fall right into the arms of Satan? Because anything that communism is really the devil. What's behind it all is Satan himself, Beelzebub, Lord of the Flies, the dung. That's all Satan, because Satan always wants to have control and power over others. And it's just like those people that are controlling. They're actually doing the will of Satan, even if they're Christian. They may be godly, but they may not realize it. But Jesus did not mean for a man to dominate his woman and treat her like a piece of possession or property, but he meant for a man to be the leader of the home, meaning spiritual leader, not a king or a tyrant or anarchist, but someone that would be a spiritual leader, and then both the wife and the husband would make the decision according to Romans 13 together. And then the man would actually be the one that actually, after talking with his wife, then he would actually, come out with a compromise or come out with something that would be more suitable for all parties, like kids and the rest of the family. But see, that's what it's described in Romans 13. It's an equal submission between the man and a woman, not where the man's luring and dominating. Hey, you better do this or else. I don't care what you're doing. You better do this or else. No. That's not what Jesus said. He said you treat each other with respect and you treat each other equally, and that's what that means. But anyway, before we finish up, we need to pray for this nation, and I'll say this on the news portion, and we need to pray for Brian Carter. Brian Carter is a guy. He's a young man that used to go to Pole Green Church of Christ, and he has a sister. And we need to pray for that family, the Carter family, at this time, and pray that Brian does not go in or have anything to do with a wrong group or wrong crowd and making the wrong choices to get locked up or to get in trouble, breaking the law. Hope that he steers clear from these people who are going to do nothing but set him in jail or get him, maybe accused of a crime he didn't commit. So let's just hope that the Lord and people can intervene before that happens. We need to pray for all the churches around in the area of Christ, that body and believers and people that are working would stay encouraged and not get discouraged or be caught up into the world and not allow intolerance to come into the church, but to really follow the Bible and not to compromise on things that should not be compromisable on, and that we would remain steadfast, and that we would all be prayer warriors for everybody. And that we would really look out for our neighbors and our friends and our families and help out our neighbors any way we can and our friends and our families. Please check on the sick and the shut-in and the mentally ill and the lame if you're able to. And if you know someone that's like that, it might be a good idea to do that. And please pray for your health and sanity, and you'll be able to be more of an asset to help other people who are in need or who need your assistance for something or need you to do something for them, and help the Lord be able to use me in that same way. I pray as a minister, evangelist, and please forgive us where we all fall short of the will, and Thank you for everything you do. In a wonderful name I pray, amen. So these are the things you need to keep in mind for the church, and to pray for the country, and to pray for the Congress, and that, Obama stop having to go around Congress to still do his executive orders when Congress has voted against it, but Obama's going around that. What needs to happen is legislation needs to get together to be able to put a stop on Obama just writing executive orders just to do it, because there are laws that can override that if they are put into legislation, which will hold him more accountable to what he does, and only be able to use it during times of war or times of extreme emergencies. And these times where he's been doing all these executive orders now are not either of those times. They're not a time of war or a time of extreme circumstances. So please help that we can put a provision on there so he'll stop using the executive order, and that the Congresses can do their job to pass bills and to block bills that Obama wants to pass for the good, for the country, and for the people, not just for the people that are up in Washington, but also for all people. And thank you, and just keep those things in prayer, guys. And if you like to help out New Hunter Church of Christ any way that you can, you take donations, and we definitely would need it. Like I said, this is the In the News portion, part 2. And we'll see you tomorrow with another update. Bye for now. And subscribe down below. Down below! In the News, part 2. See you tomorrow with another update.